the leading CSGO analyst and stand-up comedian, it seems, when it comes to the roasting element. It is Duncan Thorin Shields. Yeah. How are you doing? You ready to roast some NA people?
I'm ready to watch a good match. I think that's why the crowd's here now. They've come to watch a World Championship level team like Virtus.pro, not two tier 2 teams like Luminosity and Envious. Let's get some high-quality Counter-Strike going.
It begins. And joining us for what will no doubt be the roast session of the year, we have got Yanko and, of course, Maniac still with us. How are you guys doing?
I'm great. I just had a break, you know. I got to watch this game.
Please, show a bit more enthusiasm.
Yeah, like
break.
a break.
Just had a break, was backstage.
The break was nice.
Yeah, add some water. It was
what
good.
do you want me to say? I got
He really loves Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I know, this guy.
I was just watching the best team in the whole world lose to rank underdog. It was okay.
Yeah, I drank.
Arguably the best team in the world.
Yeah, excellent.
You gonna argue that?
Well,
he's out. And how are you doing?
no, I was pretty hyped by the game right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Luminosity played amazingly, so I just hope keep that level of Counter-Strike throughout the rest of the day.
Well, yeah. And we saw one team that got 16-0'd bounce back against top-tier opposition. Same storyline set up here. Team Liquid obviously 16-0'd. And now they're going up against Virtus.pro in a best-of-3.
Well, the funny thing is, this should have been the best-of-3 where an upset was more likely. I still wouldn't have bet on it, but this should be where Team Liquid should have had a chance. They obviously did beat the team previously at IM without Snacks. Coming into this map veto here, it's pretty obvious from Dust 2 that it's going to be a Dust 2 ban from VP, because they do that against everyone. That's not something to do with Team Liquid. For Team Liquid banning Train, that's not that Team Liquid couldn't play Train, that's just that it's Virtus.pro. And Virtus.pro are unreal on Train. So these two bans are fairly obvious. I'm expecting, in terms of how it's been going recently, that the interesting map for me is whether Team Liquid will pick or even just allow through Cobblestone, because they've been playing it a lot. But VP's really underrated on Cobblestone. This is interesting here, because Team Liquid picks Overpass. Obviously, the map that they got absolutely wrecked on yesterday when they were playing against TSM.
But as an interesting point to mention, the PGL Season 1 finals, that was the 16-14 game. And
that's what I was coming to here. That's the one that they almost won on that map.
Yeah, they should have won it, I think.
They felt like, wow, we were so close. VP picking Mirage, not really a surprise. We know it's a classic map for them. Amazingly, yeah, they did lose it yesterday. That was kind of a shock there, the fashion in which they lost, but they are still a fantastic team. You've got to really get up early to beat them. But here's what's interesting. This actually puts Team Liquid in a scenario where two of their best maps are the first two maps. So if you want to prime this for could Team Liquid do it, these are two great maps right now. I think it would be really unlucky for Team Liquid right now if the last map to come out was Cobblestone. Because I feel like, even though it's a map they want, I think that would make a really great series for VP. I think a better map for Team Liquid is probably Inferno. I think that would be quite reasonable. Oh, they've banned it actually.
Yeah, Inferno is quite a ban.
Okay, here's the thing, and then Cash would be better, I think, for them in this scenario.
And that's
VP won't allow it anyway.
That's banned as well.
They ban Cash,
So
yeah,
it's a tough situation. I think I agree with you. I think if Cobblestone comes out, it could favour Virtus.pro, and there it is. But then again, got the stats in front of me here. These two teams have played each other quite a bit actually recently, and there always seem to be reasonable games. We talked about the 16-14 there on Overpass. We've got Virtus.pro. There was an overtime win there, obviously at the major on Cobble. Then, of course, you've got what happened, and maybe we discount what happened in San Jose because Virtus.pro used to stand in. But, a comprehensive 2-0 for Team Liquid on Mirage and, of course, Overpass. So maybe Team Liquid are primed here.
Put it this way, I think the series is good for them to get a map. I think this is a great, because they've got a chance on all three maps. The problem I see here is these are still fantastic maps for Virtus.pro, and if you discount Virtus.pro and Cobble, you haven't seen their T-side, because Team Liquid, they're like a good T-side team themselves. They had some success there, but I saw them having difficulties holding CT against Cloud9. Virtus.pro and T-side, they're going to rip you apart if your defenses aren't really solid. So I think actually the best chance to feel Team Liquid is you should win in the first two. If you can get the opposite on Overpass, Mirage is a map that you still like as well, that's your best shot, is to win 2-0. It's going to be really hard to win over all three against Virtus.pro.
So Yanko, because we kind of wrecked you a little bit and said you were unenthusiastic.
Fine.
Right, we're going to let you introduce teams. Normally Duncan, Sting.
Thanks.
We're going to let you introduce Virtus.pro and tell us about them from left to right, please.
Right, so from left to right, we have Pasha, who was, when they originally, broke through, won Katowice 2014, he was the best player in the world probably for the first 6 months. Hasn't been showing up lately, after that we have Bialy, an amazing aimer. They use him mostly as a turret, he doesn't move around a lot, he just has his own position, which he plays a lot, tries to get as many kills as he can. In the middle, we have Neo, of course, the legend from 1.6. After their slump during the summer, he started picking up the AWP. He's been pretty decent with it, I would say. Next up is Taz, also 1.6 legend, great guy all around. I'm not sure if he's an in-game leader still, because he's not sitting in the middle, but it doesn't have to mean much. Maybe they just rotated the seats because of their seating.
I'm sure in his mind he is.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least is Snax, their best player recently, an all-around player.
Looks like he's actually eating right now on camera. Listen, people get hungry, you need a little bit of energy going, you know.
Yeah.
Can happen, but yeah.
I feel that the biggest problem for Liquid in this best of 3 is, we talked about how teams lack depth in their map pool. I feel that 9 times out of 10, they're going to lose Mirage straight up. So you're basically giving away one map in a best of 3. And as Duncan pointed out, Cobble and Overpass both are good maps for VP, you know. So it's going to be an uphill struggle for them for sure. They had a positive sign is that Nitro had a good game, you know. The first game, he's a important part of that team for sure. But yeah, they're still going to be in problems.
And I'll bring you in, Maniac. Is there a player we need to watch in this series? I mean, we've been saying Snax, obviously, the entire tournament. Is it still Snax?
Yeah, I'm very sorry. I try to be original. And,
he is one of the best players in the world, right?
Snax is the player to look at, and also when you know that Liquid has a tendency to like tilt a little bit, like create spaces, create mistakes, and Snax is probably the best player in the world to utilize those open spaces. So, dead on Snax.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's one of the most sort of intelligent players. Like when he's on point, I love watching him, sort of the way he utilizes the smokes and the terrain, very positionally aware. You know, he's got this extra dimension not a lot of players do. You talk about Bialy being the turret who doesn't move around. Well, Snax is the opposite, you know. I'll get you to introduce Team Liquid, Duncan, as well. You did a great job, Janko. It's not that we're demoting you. It's just obviously Duncan's contractually obliged to do them.
So on the very left, we've got Nitro here. I think probably actually the most skilled player in this lineup. He's a guy where he's getting quite consistent now, actually. He's becoming like a star-level player. He's putting in those 25-kill performances. He's going to be one of the... He's like the second man into most sites. He follows Elysian. To his right, the exact opposite end of the spectrum, the most passive player on the team. This is the traditional lurker, probably the best NA player overall in history because of the amount of success he's had, been very good at his position internationally. He plays the lurker role very much in Team Liquid here. In the middle is the in-game leader, Adren, but he's also the primary AWP on this team. They're not so much of an AWP-centric team. He just tries to use it within the confines of what they do. To his right is Elige, who's the main entry guy for this team. He's the young guy who came in, and it's taken him a while to get adjusted to LAN, but he's really started to gradually step it up each LAN over the last sort of 3 or 4, I think. And on the right is Fugly. And what's interesting is when Elige was having his difficulties, when Nitro was not really like playing an aggressive role, Fugly used to be the guy who looked good, actually. He was the guy who's like very effective, but quite economical in his play. Now he doesn't have to do so much, though. Now he's actually middling between like being a bit of a lurker sometimes. I feel like he's maybe the one guy who doesn't get used as effectively anymore because the others have moved into better roles for them.
I agree with that. Players to highlight.
Here's the thing, both of these teams are very unique in as much as they both have one player who I always think of in my own mind as like, this guy's like the barometer of which way the wind's blowing for this team. So over on the VP side, it's got to be Bialy, because if he's going off, you already know Snax is going to be having a good performance. Pasha's usually at least decent, if not having a map where he's very strong than one off. So if Bialy's there as well, you've got those 3, that's when they're in like God mode and they're near unbeatable. Over on the Team Liquid side, it's even though I think Nitro's the best player, it's actually Elige, because Elige is entry fragging, and when he has the confidence to know he can be consistent in running in and he's going to get something done, that's what Nitro follows up on and gets the refrag, gets the trade frag. So that's when Elige has a good game, that's when Nitro's going to blow up and have the 28 frag game.
And
so it has to be there, otherwise Nitro on his own isn't going to win the game.
I've spoke to Elige about this actually, and he said like he likes the way Virtus.pro play. Like he feel he can get a better read on it and match up to them sort of.
We'll see if he likes it after this.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe not quite so much, but like in terms of how they play, he feels he can match them a bit better. And we saw that at the major. He was like, unbelievably good when they played each other, and best I'd seen him play for a while.
Yeah, I think actually Virtus.pro, or rather CT side of Virtus.pro, is not one of the most methodical CT side ever. Yeah. They, as you pointed out, Snax goes for a lot of entry frag. Even as CT, he creates situation to try and get the open kill. So if you are extremely skilled T offensive player, Virtus.pro is probably the team who's going to give you more opportunities to kill them. So that's probably why he likes to play against them.
One thing I do see as an issue as well in terms of general matchup of styles is when I watched Team Liquid play at these recent tournaments, particularly when they played Cloud9 and the other teams there, one thing they seem to be a little bit lackluster on is actually clutch rounds. Okay, yes, if Hiko's in a clutch round, yeah, you have a chance there. He's obviously famously very good under pressure. Some of those players, though, like Nitro, like Elige, if they were ever left in like 1-on-2 type situations, they seem to lose a lot of those rounds, actually. Whereas VP, this team is famously good. Almost every player in this lineup, in tournaments they go deep, will have like 1v2s, 1v3. I mean, Byali's the entry fragger. On CT rounds, you see him win 1v2s all the time, you know. Taz is not supposed to be in any way one of the best players in this team. He's famously good at winning 1v1s, 1v2s. So I'm wondering if that part of the game will come into play there, because if it gets into those late situations, I edge it to VP in the clutch rounds.
Just had the 90-second warning, just about 30 seconds into that, so we got to do some quick predictions, and then we got to go to the map. So quickly.
I'll go 2-1 for VP. Maybe Liquid's going to take a map, but it's going to be VP series at the end.
I'm going for 2-0 VP.
Yeah, this is hard because here's the problem. I want to say 2-1 to VP because I think the maps give Liquid a good chance on each 3, but individually I favor VP on each map, so I'm going to say 2-0 VP.
All right, well, thanks a lot for your thoughts, gentlemen. We'll be back after the game to talk some more. And here we're going to take a closer look at what Virtus.pro and Team Liquid think about this rivalry that is burgeoning.
When we played TSM yesterday, just nothing was going right for us. I thought it was a lot closer than it really was. Like, we were up. I think I saw a stat on HLTV, like we had 10 entry frags and they only had like 6 or something. And that just shows just like we had the advantage in like most rounds, and we just couldn't close them out.
We have the knowledge which allows us to beat even the new teams. And with our knowledge, sometimes we do the pause, we just discuss what to do, and we even overcome the bad results and we win the game.
I think that we'll win. I feel pretty confident. I think we all feel pretty confident. I think that we're just gonna try to avoid Snacks mainly, because he's just really nuts.
All right, DreamHack, make some noise. We have an excellent match coming up. Virtus.pro versus Liquid. Two teams with a lot to prove. And I'm here with James, of course. James, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling fantabulous. Got my little badges here, ready to go. Got my little shiny objects. So, best of 3. Again, all 3 maps really pretty good maps for Virtus.pro, so you have to favour them in this. And it's going to be a big test for Liquid. We've seen Luminosity come back from maximum adversity, you might say, yesterday to do good things here today, and we'll see if Liquid can do the best again. It's going to be another strong test for them against Virtus.pro. How do you feel about this one?
Well, out of all the North American teams, I mean, we've seen so much Cloud9 versus Virtus.pro in the past. Liquid, though, have the best kind of matchup with them. Typically speaking, Cloud9 would always have problems with all their preparation. They'll go into the match against Virtus.pro, they would end up falling flat, not know what to do. Liquid, on the other hand, always seem to, and on maps like Overpass 2, have a really, really good shot at Virtus.pro, despite the fact that Virtus.pro are so strong there. So I feel like we're going to be in for a very close series. And of course, the team from North America, Liquid, they have so much to prove. Big tournament right at the end of the year. They've had some troubles. There's definitely a lot of doubt going on. This would be the way for them to cement some more confidence going forwards, and with this lineup since the addition of Hiko.
Well, the first map is Overpass, and Virtus.pro will be starting on the CT side. So Liquid up against this again. This is a map where they started on the CT side and lost 16-0. I think that's the worst kind of 16-0 you could possibly have in the game. But they're going to start on the less favoured side this time. Good headshot onto Byali, but from that range, the Glock's not going to be enough. Going to require a second shot here.
Absolutely. So we have a bit of information gathering going on from the Tasmanian Devil there from Virtus.pro. He's not going to see too much. He will find Hiko, but still not too much of an indication where these Liquid players are going just yet. But Virtus.pro are going to decide to make a bit of a read, falling back to more passive positions here onto the bomb sites. Not lost any players yet, although Byali and Taz are quite weak. They will find the push now, moving its way into the A bomb site.
Snacks holding things down for the time being on the right side of the smoke. And none of this is working out for Liquid. Bombs down as well. Hiko was the lurker towards B, just trying to make his way back towards A, but he's got a lot of work to do. Again, with that inferior pistol, again in a pistol round, he's going to need to get close to find these one-shots on these players. There are a few tagged Virtus.pro players here. Again, he needs to find himself a lot of 1 versus 1s. That's going to be really hard as he approaches the site here. You can see Snacks moving into a trade position if Hiko chooses to push through the toilets there. Flash is coming in. Still no kills for Hiko just yet. The knife attempt coming in, and that's not going to go down. So 1 kill for Hiko. looking back for the gun, and he's going to get taken down by Taz at the same time.
So Virtus.pro with a good start into overpass. Liquid likely going to be force buying with their with this situation. They could do a lot of cool plays, a lot of cool strategies. The Tech 9 rush into something like B is what on the CT side you'd probably be most afraid of in a situation like this. So Virtus.pro will be very cognizant of that. So they might even make some information plays. They can be a bit more aggressive down towards A. I'm going to see them just playing a little bit default at the moment as they wait for Liquid to move in with those Tech 9s and armors. But there's only one smoke on Hiko. So this is going to be a really hard one for Liquid. If at least they could get 3 kills, they're going to be somewhat pleased, but they could definitely, if they're able to get a fast one, maybe kill Pasha or Snacks very quickly towards A, get onto that site quickly and get a bomb down, who knows what can happen.
You can see strong hold of short B from the CTs. That's going to be a very crucial area going through into the later rounds here. Again, it is a force buy from Liquid, and their map control, their real estate is running out slowly but surely here, unbeknownst to them. There is a flank coming in eventually from Bali. Adrenaline is going to be the first to go down, and they're nowhere near the site just yet. We've got Nitro lurking towards the long area, and there's the frag. Actually, he's coming from the toilet, so there's another one lurking there. The bomb's down though, and it will be a full rotation from Virtus.pro. That flank might not even be necessary. There's only one player left now in Fugly. 2 players down for Virtus.pro so far, so they're not going to be too concerned with this result. Going to be a solid hold for them.
Yeah, it was pretty sick actually. Bialy got so much information for his team in that situation, and you can see Snacks peeking aggressively with that scout because he just knew that they were sitting there. He could probably have almost a kind of mental kind of war hack going on because they knew that they were just gearing up by the toilets, looking for the timing on the push. But Virtus.pro 1 step ahead thanks to Bialy and his risk taking there. So now full Glock eco here. You wouldn't really expect much from Liquid in a round like this. No Kevlar, just AP 250 as the investment. Not much to really speak of. So I'll see if Virtus.pro can take a clean round here, because that's this is Virtus.pro's round to build that money. And Liquid are probably likely already thinking about what they're going to do on their first buy rounds as it approaches quite rapidly. So Zach's almost going down there, but he will make it out of there in time.
Yeah, this is a nothing round for Liquid, as you can see here. They're just waiting for the next one to start, basically trying to get any damage they can in, but there won't be any damage. Bialy and Snacks having 4 HP combined, but they will survive. That'll be good for their economy going forward. So, see the buy coming up for Liquid now. We'll see what kind of buy they have to offer. It's going to be 5 AKs for the T side coming up. Got a fair few flashes and smokes as well. Not a full buy in terms of grenades, but they've got a fair amount to work with. Virtus.pro continuing with the eco buy, but you can see the Liquid side have full helmets. So that MP9 of Snacks is not going to be very powerful in this round.
Yeah, so some good information from Snacks. So you can see the jump coming in there by Connector, and he's able to spot into the sewers to see what kind of movement at this kind of timing in the round that Liquid are going for. That will tell them a lot. Just a small snippet of information, but Virtus.pro can extrapolate quite a lot from it. As we'll see Liquid going for a bit of a default here, just taking some map control towards the toilets. They have the bomb carrier tentatively moving towards A long as well. So Liquid seeing how much real estate that they can get for free before making the call here. And Virtus.pro is such a passive play. They're going to have to really rely on Neo to hit some shots with this orb because these Ts are getting close.
Indeed they are, and there's still a very passive lurker in Hiko towards the bomb side. Just keeping an eye through Monster. And there are 2 Virtus.pro players playing close to Monster, so if Snacks goes down here around a toilet area, we'll have to see how fast this rotation comes in, but you can see Liquid moving towards Connector now, so it may be a B split after all. They will shortly see that there's nobody playing B short from the CTs. Again, we mentioned that is an important area for them, and now it's going to allow Liquid to try and execute the split here if they wish.
And here it goes, Bialy in a very committed position. The first challenge will come, he's looking for it, but Bialy will make the first frag and the second one. The bomb is now down at the feet of Bialy. Virtus.pro with significant control on what's going on in this round now. Even flashes coming in. What on earth are Liquid going to do to save this one? Snacks in from the back with the MP9, and it's going from bad to worse for the American side as Adren, he's going to move in now to see if he can get some damage done at the very least. And he will find the frag, and in doing so, create some space to fall back safely, but great defense from Virtus.pro, forcing Liquid to go for a push, and it just wasn't good enough.
Indeed, Liquid had the space to go for the split towards B, but they put, I think, 3 people towards Monster. I didn't see much happening on the actual short area itself. As you can see here, there's 3 people facing Monster, which is basically a choke point. You can only have a 1 versus 1 in, and there's nobody up pushing short, so they had the opportunity for a split, didn't go for it for some reason, and didn't work out at all. Virtus.pro, again, winning the round with an MP9 in tow, making a bit of money. It will be Snax, who's going to upgrade now to the M4 after going down. So Virtus.pro looking very comfortable for the time being. You can see Liquid forcing the numbers towards the bomb site at the moment. No lurkers on this occasion, as they only have 1 AK in tow.
Yeah, and again, a passive play from Virtus.pro. So it's always good to see how much you can get done by just playing reactively, as it is the safest approach if you can handle the responses correctly. And so far, so good. And of course, they know that Liquid could be on a bit of a poor buy, so they are playing a very safe game at distance. But hey, Adren's in with the first shot onto Bialy there. He's going to drop into the water. And Virtus.pro now need to go for a retake more or less immediately, unless Neo and Taz can get more damage done here. The bomb is still not down for the T side of Liquid.
Right, so Neo's got the high ground. The bomb finally goes down in the smoke. Snax is up close, though. We'll see if he can get himself a 1 versus 1. There is a man disadvantage for his team. He's just going straight onto the site with a smoke grenade, not knowing where the players are, and that's not going to pay off for the team. That might lose Virtus.pro around here. Much work for the final players to do. Again, Neo still in the high ground with the AWP, so it's 1 rifle to try and clear up 2 more players. The bomb continues to tick. No more smokes left. There's a nice flash coming in, but can they get the defuse in time? You see a Neo coming in, so Pasha needs to play Operation Human Shield. Haven't got enough bullets in the M4, and down goes Neo, and that's the round for Liquid here. Pasha can only do damage at this point, taken down by Adren. Sorry for Fugly. And the round goes to Liquid.
Yeah, nicely done by Liquid there. They only had an AK and just a handful of Tech 9s, few grenades, and they made it work. I mean, Adren, you got to hand it to Adren. That instant entry was really what was able to create the opportunity for his team to have such a successful round there in the end, even though it was very close. So 4-1 is the score, Liquid fighting back, and definitely already a better performance than their previous Overpass match that we can recall from this tournament just yesterday. Now, we'll have to see whether they can keep the momentum going. This is a very, very interesting time for both teams. Both teams weak on the economy. This is a very meaningful round in that sense to keep the buys going.
Despite Snax having the MP9 and the buy round, getting a kill with it and then going down, he's going to be limited to the deagle on this occasion. And again, I think if he moves onto the site without having a smoke grenade in his hand, Virtus.pro probably win that round, but there we go. Liquid are on the scoreboard. They've got the AKs again. They can continue to pressure on this CT economy. But have a look at Snax's position now. He's all the way towards playground, playing like Device would for TSM. Will Adren find the angle here? Will he even look where Snax is? They're passing each other unbeknownst to each team. So Adren will be looking down long, and now Snax can come in for a big flank, can play the information game as well. Virtus.pro currently with 3 people over towards B, and now Adren's moving towards Snax's position. Snax might hear him, but is he going to get the information fast enough?
And there it is, Snax doing Snax things. He's just going to play the patient game like a ninja, just taking it slow, getting all the information, lining him up with the deagle. This could be huge. And there he goes with the deagle, but only a single frag from Snax. But still, his team will know what's going on. They'll have some warning, at least to the push that's about to hit the B bomb side of Overpass here as Neo's in the water. We've got Liquid now making the approach. Who's going to win this slugfest? It could be anyone's at this point. 3 versus 3 as players are going down all over the place. Taz over the top of the smoke. Nitro falls, Adren and Elige, and Virtus.pro will take the round. Snax, he did enough.
As that push came into the site, Virtus.pro had no grenades left, no counter flashes, nothing. Just had to go guns blazing there, dancing around the smokes. Managed to pay off for them. They only survived with 2 players. Again, Snax maybe a little bit too quick on the trigger here. If he was a little bit slow, he probably could have killed 2 people there with the meat shots. But there we go. Did enough damage, ran a bit of distraction, and obviously that's massive information for Virtus.pro. All the players coming in Monster. Worked out for them. They're going to have a reasonable buy. Pasha's going to be limited on grenades. Other than that, Virtus.pro looking good at the moment. Liquid back on the eco here. Tech 9's P250 coming out. 1 flash onto Nitro, so it looks like they might go for a fast play around a choke point and then try and get a bomb plant.
Yeah, this is a really nice spot for Virtus.pro. Finally, they can potentially have some breathing space here, get some kills without losing anybody. That would be perfect for Virtus.pro just to stabilize somewhat, economically speaking. And we'll have Snax moving in toilets there. He'll be the most forward man here for Virtus.pro. They do realize what's going on when it comes to Liquid's kind of buy, so they're trying to play optimally against that, and so far, so good. It's a bit of a firing range there for Neo, but he's going to take a bullet to the face as these teams get very close with these pistols. Snax in with a double, and it's going to be finished off by Pasha. So 3 people surviving for Virtus.pro. Actually, that's going to stop their economy from growing all that much, so that's actually not a result that they can be happy with.
Yeah, they could have done better than that, especially with the kind of the advantage you have with players coming in on long, in that their shadows give their position away. You can see the pre-fire coming in there, but the CTs chose to close the distance, and a few of them got one tapped. So maybe some extra deaths there. But there we go. Virtus.pro will continue here. But I think they're going to be confident. Having started on the CT side, being 6-1 up at the moment, they're not going to be too concerned. You can see Liquid are going to have the 1 AK once again. They've got a lot of nades, though, on these pistol players. Liquid are one of the more disciplined teams, especially in North America, when it comes to things like this. So we'll see if they have some kind of execute. Meanwhile, Virtus.pro with 3 players really deep on A long here.
This is a really strange setup, and we'll have the T side of Liquid looking to move straight into it. The pistols are blazing, but they did not expect these players all so close with the M4s. However, they'll get a great trade situation despite everything. And now 2 rifles in the hands of these Liquid players as they decide to take it a little bit easy. They don't have to rush things. They have a minute on the clock, and there's only 2 players left, and Taz is going to be able to hear if they are running and making any noise. So is he aware of this? They're going to make their way in here. They don't want to just wait and play it slow. Straight in. Taz has a good angle here, but will he make the kill? This is so crucial for Virtus.pro. First frag found, looking for the second player, but Taz looks like he has Bialy in tow just to help him out in the nick of time, and it's going to be pretty good for Virtus.pro in the end, but that was really scary over on A long.
Yeah, it was a great start for Liquid. Left with 2 players. Hiko did not have any armor in that situation, so he was going to be paper thin in any duel going down there. But again, it's another expensive round for Virtus.pro, which is one thing going in Liquid's favor, as if they do manage to win a round here. Look at the money left on Virtus.pro, save for Taz, on about $8,000. It's going to be a financially difficult situation for them if they'll get wiped out in one round. And there's still a reasonable amount of rounds left for Liquid to have a good T-half here.
Yeah, it looks a lot worse than maybe it actually is if Liquid can just win a round, but this nades, the setup is really good from Virtus.pro. Snax is going to trade wonderfully, allowing Taz to finish off a lead as well for the 1 for 2, and that's going to put Virtus.pro in good stead. Liquid can still, of course, create a round out of this, but it is a little bit more difficult than some maps because the rotation is a bit easier for the CTs than most other maps in the pool. But looks like Liquid are trying to find themselves a bit of a picking situation here. This could be dangerous. If they lose another player without getting a frag back, that's going to cause problems. Right now,
Hiko's lurking outside Monster. There's nobody actually watching Monster unless somebody's doing it from upper A at the moment. So he's got an opportunity unbeknownst to him, but he's moving towards that short area. He's going to come in for his teammates and get the first frag on Sabari. That's going to cause a rotation from Virtus.pro away from the B short area. You can see Taz just taking a bit more of a passive position there. The clock is against Liquid at the moment. They're still stuck outside the B bomb site. Now we've got Neo in the barrel position with a timely Molotov there. Going to peek onto Hiko as well. He's going to go down. So it's Liquid versus the rest of Poland to try and get a round on the board for his team.
Yeah, Nitro, 30 seconds to play with. He can't make the spray work for himself. Neo will hold down the Monster Tunnel, and Virtus.pro will effectively hold the round. And it was a very difficult situation for Liquid, but there's a lot of options in that kind of a spot. As the T side is much better than if you're a downer man and on the CT side. Now we'll have to see if a recovery can be made here for Liquid, because again, Virtus.pro in this spot where they can start to build up the money. Because Liquid have kept them in this spot. I think you mentioned it in the previous round, where all they have to do is just win that first round, and they can start forcing ecos from Virtus.pro. They can start getting on the board, but Virtus.pro just seem just too good at the moment, just holding them off, holding them at bay. And Liquid, I mean, is there something that you would like to see them change? Because so far, we've just been seeing some defaults mostly.
I think if they can get themselves into a situation where they break the CT economy, I think they're one of the teams who should have good anti-eco strats to try and build up a few rounds. But to get to that point, I'm not sure at this point what they need to do to break Virtus.pro. I think Virtus.pro are simply a stronger team in maybe every facet on this map.
Part of the thing as well for me is that we saw, for example, that weird setup, the 3-player setup on A-long, right? That's kind of play that's kind of, could be considered outrageous. But if Liquid did have a plan in that round, we never got to see it, because loads of crazy trades happened. Then Liquid have to go with what is the best play from that point. They felt like, rushing into the A site. But again, that's Virtus.pro basically forcing themselves, or forcing Liquid, to respond to them, as opposed to the other way around. And that's usually how the T side works, is that you say, okay, we're the T side, we're going to dictate the pace, we're going to force you to rotate, we're going to attack this area, and so on and so forth, make you adapt. But so far, Virtus.pro are controlling every facet of Overpass.
So it looks like we have an execute coming in here from the Liquid side. A smoke execute towards the bomb site. People already moving into Monster. And you can see Virtus.pro maybe with a read on a situation, looking to try and go for a retake. If they've moved into very passive positions here, looking to not get taken down by the trade numbers of Liquid. Fast bomb plant here. Those smokes will soon disappear though. Leaves left with a flashbang. Other than that, only one player has armor on the Liquid side. 5-man retake coming in for Virtus.pro.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty savage. Liquid needs something pretty special here. Fugly might just miss a player there as we have Nitro over by the water. Can he get anything done? He's trapped between multiple players as all of Virtus.pro bear down upon the site.
Boom.
Oh, nice shot there from Fugly. He's got 2 more players though, cannot connect another. And that's going to be the defuse coming in for Virtus.pro for another round win. But that was not a round that was expected to be won by Liquid, and they did. They completed the objective that they had in mind. Plant the bomb, get a frag.
Yeah, and they have done, again, good economical damage to the economy, but it's not enough, as you may read on the face of the Liquid players there. 8-round deficit now for Liquid. They've got 1 round on the T side, which is better than their last foray into Overpass, but it's not going to be enough to do anything here versus Virtus.pro. That fast smoke coming into the short area. Again, we've mentioned how important that can be. Fast play into Connector as well from Neo. He's going to be looking for an engagement. Will he find one?
We've got, Taz is the one that finds an excellent defense there on Suez. Once again, it looks like Virtus.pro, they always understand what Liquid are trying to accomplish, and they throw a novelty-sized wrench into the works to completely ruin the entire machinery. We've got Snacks pushing in, just outrageous, audacious plays from Snacks so far in this Overpass match, and it's not looking to stop anytime soon. And he keeps going for the MP9 as well, which is quite fun. And we do have Liquid trying to salvage the round now by pushing Monster. Can Hiko create the opportunity that Liquid need?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of psychological warfare and just straight disrespect here from Virtus.pro, which is great when you have such an advantage. You're in a best of 3, they're trying to crush Liquid mentally as well as physically with those MP9s, with those knife attempts in a pistol round. So far, so good for the team. Liquid are trying to get some safe real estate, almost a team kill there. Close, you can see they're quite tense. That's an important frag for them. You can see CT's moving towards Monster now, and indeed it's a full rotation towards the A-bomb site here. They've got 2 smokes as well. They could completely cut off Virtus.pro from getting anywhere close to this site now.
Yeah, Hiko really did manage to create that opportunity. He cleared the site and then made another pretty sick entry frag, and that has turned into an A-plant now. So Virtus.pro have to go for the retake. Bomb has gone down. Great grenade. Fugly and Adren critically low, but still, Adren will hit that AWP shot as Virtus.pro make their way closer and closer to the site. We've got Biani there, in amongst the smoke, in amongst the truck, looking for that next frag. He's going to find the engagement. Fugly's down. Adren hits the ground. It's just Hiko left, the clutch master for the team, and he cannot get it done. And there's way too much time on the bomb for Liquid to win this round. Despite all of that, despite definitely a favorable situation, still, somehow, Virtus.pro make it work.
Are we going to see a 13-2 half here? It's definitely headed that way. A lot of times on Overpass, it's one of the harder maps to play on the T side, obviously. So you can commonly see like a 13-2 half, etc. Not used to seeing them on LAN though, although not used to seeing a 16-0 as well. 10-1 is the score. Liquid can still get some dignity out of this half, but again, they won their 1 round a long time ago. And Virtus.pro have all the momentum. The plows in full swing and all the snow is being moved to the side here. There's a big buyout for Liquid. No AWP, but they've got the full AKs. They've got lots of Molotov smokes as well. Got a lot of people over towards the balloon area, towards Long. There's a double play in toilets from Virtus.pro. To see where the initial engagement is. Snacks missing the shot there towards the balloons.
Yeah, but it's interesting because Liquid decided to go with somewhat more of a committed play, not necessarily the default where they take loads of map control over the place, then decide later on where to go based on what they've seen. They're just saying right now, we're going to go for the A site. I don't think the bomb's been spotted by Virtus.pro towards A long right now, but that is definitely the bomb site of choice here for Liquid, as we can see. Now, they don't have anybody who's in connectors or Suez, so their options to double back are completely blind. They've got to get it done here, and the first engagement will be won. In fact, multiple engagements, entries found by this American side. 3 frags on the entry. What will Virtus.pro do now?
There we go, and you can see the money is averaging about $2,000 on this CC team. So Liquid could, like a 10-5 is suddenly becoming very possible here for Liquid if they can win the next round as well as this one. They need to try and hunt down Taz as well. You can see he's currently sitting on 3K, so that's going to be a great help to his team if he manages to hold on to this gun. You can see Clash there with 4,200 as well. So they definitely want to take this gun away from Taz. All the players alive, then they should definitely be on the hunt here, and indeed they are going for it, but no one towards B, which is where Taz is lurking.
Now, I would be very worried if I was on Liquid side at the moment, just because, again, they can get, well, of course they're going to save 5 weapons here, so the reset potential can't happen immediately, but still, Virtus.pro, they've got such a buffer of round wins, and Liquid is still searching for a consistent way to win rounds. That time they just got a bunch of entry frags. That's not necessarily a formula that they can easily repeat and rely on with a high percentage success rate. So what Virtus.pro could do now is something crazy, like the 3-man A-long stack. We could see something nuts from Virtus.pro to completely throw Liquid off. If Liquid think they have a plan, Virtus.pro can get in there once again and just stop it before it gets started. So I'm afraid for Liquid in case that happens.
Well, let's have a look at the buy here. They've managed to get an AWP out. Again, Virtus.pro, Pasha had 4,200 in the previous round, so he's gone for the AWP. We've got a scout onto Neo. We know how dangerous he is on that, especially on Mirage. Bali with the FAMAS, double M4 for Virtus.pro, so they've managed to eke out the buy. Their utility in terms of grenades is next to nothing. It's quite lackluster. But again, the round is just beginning, and we know how aggressive they can be. And look at the push here towards B. They're shutting up Liquid from half the map, and with Pasha, they're just funneling people towards Pasha, but he needs to find the frags here. As the clock continues, he's going to move back to a more passive position, as the CTs often do on overpass. Try and play that numbers game and try and keep those tight choke points with many players.
That was actually really smart because, of course, Bialy pushed so much down Monster, they actually realized from the time Pasha was on A-long that he's massively at risk. Even though he hasn't heard anything, he's massively at risk because there's no one on the other side of the map. But looks like Liquid go for the rotation. Taz is in such a good position though. He's hearing the stepping towards Connector, so he's going to preemptively throw the incendiary, but we've still got Liquid who are just waiting for that perfect moment, and so far they're doing a good job, but they're going to walk straight into this sick crossfire of Virtus.pro on Monster. That is 2 players down. This is looking really bad for Liquid. Nitro will explode out of short with a quick entry frag, looking for the second, but Pasha shuts him down. Buckley and Adren need to get it done right now. Spray coming in. Again, not enough. It's down to Adren, 1 versus 2, with 15 seconds left on the board. Looks for the AWP shot, has to pull out the Tech 9, and that's going to be that. Once again, Virtus.pro, they did do something a bit crazy.
What a massive reaction from Virtus.pro. That's absolutely insane. All right, guys, they've won a round. If we lose this round, they've got a good chance at a 10-5. Let's force them. Let's get an AWP on Pasha. Let's put him low. Let's force the map control so they have to funnel towards Pasha. It's great decision-making from Virtus.pro. And then to bring Pasha back on a certain timing, then to have that crossfire, they basically imposed their will on Liquid. They did not allow Liquid to have any momentum to play their own game. And again, look at the aggression, the savage aggression from Virtus.pro. They've got 1 player on the B bomb site, and they're pushing all the way down toilets with 4 men.
I love this. They're really using that big round buffer of wins. Because right now, if they finish this half with their 11 rounds, they're super happy. So they can take crazy risks just to shut down Liquid. And that's what they're doing. This is creative stuff from Virtus.pro. But this time, it's going to work out that they let that B bomb site slide. They let the plant go down for Liquid, and they go for that 5-man retake. Now, is this going to work out? We've already got a frag from Pasha. Neo's going to dive in, but loses head to Hiko. Hiko not going to stop. That's 2 frags for him. Nitro chiming in as well. And this looks like a very, very hard effort from this point forward. But Virtus.pro, they've got nothing to lose.
Good situation for Liquid. They've pushed B short. They've got a lot of map control there, but in fact, they've all abandoned the site itself. We saw a similar situation like this on a different map where I think it was Nip who abandoned the site on Mirage and then lost the round. 2 versus 2 now, as Liquid are trying to force their way back into it. And Patches find 2 headshots. Now the diffuser's coming in. Again, they're going to swap around. Human shield coming in. He needs to pick up the kit from Pasha and go for the diffuse again. He might not have time to do it now, and Fugly should survive. So just about skin in their teeth, Liquid will take the round here.
I have to say, I do love that, like, that very cute little move from a tactical sense from Pasha, where he knows there's a guy on Monster that's hiding that will never like properly face for a duel because he just wants to waste time. So he throws the Molotov down and then re-peeks it because he knows that guy's going to run through that Molotov because he thinks that Pasha thinks it's going to be safe and he doesn't have to look. So very cute tactical stuff there to try to force a round win there, but Liquid managed to just barely make it happen. And let's not forget that they got a free bomb side as well.
Yeah, it was really awkward at the end. Snax was going for the defuse, but it was Pasha who had the kit. Snax sort of 10 seconds on the clock. They had to swap. In that time, maybe they could have got the frag through smoke, who knows. But Liquid get their 3rd round on the board, looking for their 4th. Won't be disastrous if they manage to finish the half with 4 rounds here, but obviously their backs will definitely be against the wall. Neo's got a scout kill, as he always does. Hiko's going to be the next victim, the next skull on Neo's shelf.
And there's not much going on here for Virtus.pro, I was going to say, but Snax somehow gets a frag on the flank, and there is still patches towards A-long at this point with the Deagle. So this is actually very tense stuff right now. Liquid don't necessarily have enough players to cover everything, and we can see Nia's going to go back in with the scout looking for some sneaky damage to try to give an opportunity to his teammates with that distraction, but he will go down in the end. Great shots found from Pasha. Bialy's in as well. Elige needs to clutch, but Pasha finds the head of Elige and sends it rolling down the stairs as the defuse comes in. Unbelievable stuff there, and wow, this is. I mean, Liquid have some fight right now. I feel like the score should be a lot closer than it is, but Virtus.pro, they are playing damn good Counter-Strike at the moment.
Yeah, another 12-3 half on overpass for the CTs, and obviously Now Liquid are going to go to the CT side, and they have the opportunity to do the same thing, but they have the added pressure of the existing scoreline. So life's not going to be easy. If you want to say hello to Hiko, oh, that's pretty cute. Oh. That horse, though, may have to be put down soon, because Team Liquid are not in a good situation at the moment. It is best of 3, of course, but again, the maps do favor Virtus.pro as well. So we'll see. With the pressure added on from yesterday's terrible performance, 3 rounds on the T side now, do they have the temerity to come back into this game, Dan?
I mean, I absolutely think that they do. I mean, again, Virtus.pro are playing very strong, so of course that doesn't help matters, but I don't think Liquid in any sense are going to be broken at this point in time. The unfortunate thing for them is they don't have many opportunities. There's no margin for error for them, really. They need to win this pistol, they need to get the economy going, and that's the end of this story. So they'll play it round for round, and Virtus.pro looks like they are going to go with a very slow approach to this pistol round.
Well, Fugly looking for some information, and he's going to find some in the face of Snacks. So that's a good early start for Liquid. Moving back now into more better positions. Again, Fugly using the range on that USPS, superior to the Glocks, to get that one-shot Pasha, his next victim. So far, so good for Liquid.
Yeah, so that 3 versus 5 situation is awesome. They could just fall back to the bomb sites and allow these guys to get close to Virtus.pro, and they'll still be in a very favorable situation, because they can just trade with that numbers advantage, and there you go. That's it, you've won the round. But Virtus.pro looking to be sneaky as ever, rotating back through connector onto that B push, and there's nobody there, so they might even be able to get a plant out of this one now. It looks like that is the case. There are still some nades left. Hiko could incendiary onto the plant spot, but he gets shot straight in the head at range. This is not looking too good for Hiko. In goes Taz, he'll get a double with that Tech 9. This is really bad right now for Liquid. They're stuck behind the smoke as well. Bialy can get the plant for free, and now things get interesting.
Taz he's been made the raid boss there. He's got the Kevlar and the Tech 9, that moving accuracy, that savageness, but it's not going to be over now. Adren with the headshot onto him, so Bialy's left versus 3. There is a kit onto Adren as well, so this round should be over here. Bialy moving towards a short area. I think he can get there fast enough, and indeed Adren's going for the defuse, but he's only got 6 HP. So it was possible for Bialy, but he's not going to find the angle, as Nitro will deny him. And Liquid off to a good start here in the second half.
Absolutely, that is what they needed, but again, you know, we've got the bomb plant, so what Virtus.pro could actually do, and I think what a lot of teams would do in their position, especially Envious, would be to just force buy now, and just because with the bomb plant, the extra $800 for every player, you can buy a lot of utility. So you can take the Tech 9 armor on the next round and then do an execute. Some teams will just eco and then get the AKs in the next round. Looks like that's what Virtus.pro are going to go for. So no sneaky, crazy execute coming out of them in this round. Liquid get an opportunity now to win this round flawlessly, to build the bank that could keep their momentum going. But if Virtus.pro are able to get 2 or 3 frags, Liquid are in a lot of trouble.
Indeed, Liquid going for the big guns as much as possible here, save for a Legion or UMP, looking to make that paper, bring some of that green back home. Liquid will want to play the ranges on these rifles, as that will be to their advantage. Virtus.pro will want the close quarters, at least with the CZ, with the P250. Going for a bit of a boosting connector, seeing if they can find somebody unawares. And indeed, you can self-boost up in that position, as Taz, I think he was boosted by a teammate, but you can get up there on your own. Is sneaky as well if you're on a CT side and you smoke off connector and then jump up there. Taz looking to get a fast punish on someone who goes for the jump peek off the sandbags, but he's going to make his way elsewhere. So maybe Virtus.pro having a read on how many players there could be over towards A. Going to try and get close and then bum rush the site.
Yeah, but there's the first player down. Great grenades coming in, good information exchanged by the Liquid side as they slowly cut down this push before it can even really get going. And now that is that. Flawless round. That's exactly what Liquid needed to do. That's going to give them a little bit of security, and we'll have to see whether or not they can stop Virtus.pro's first spy round, because it's coming, and it's coming right now because of that early bomb plant that they got. And that does make a really big difference for Liquid. You can see that they're outgunned in this round. They've got 2 FAMASs and an UMP still against a full lineup of AKs.
Indeed, they are up against the Polish headshot machine now, with 10 legs headed their way. We'll see if Liquid choose to try and fight for short B. There is no presence there at the moment. We'll see what kind of role that has to play in this round as it continues to play out. Virtus.pro not really getting too aggressive at the moment. They know they have the superior weaponry here, and they'll try to play to that advantage. Moving through connector, once they clear that up, maybe they'll boost and look through the window towards short B and then take that over as well. Slowly pushing forward towards the balloon area, towards long. Again, you can see that boost coming in, just trying to identify if there are any CTs in that position. The fact that there aren't might mean that there could be an extra player towards B since they don't have vision of that area of CT.
So now things are getting a little bit scary here for Liquid. They can start to feel the presence of Virtus.pro as it makes its way closer and closer to some of these positions by the toilets, and things start to become contested as we see the smokes go down there. But Liquid have 2 men set up forward, Fugly and Adren, and they're in a very committed position. They need to get a couple kills with this. And if they do, they'll get the bomb as well, so that could be a big play. But oh no, Adren, he goes for the peek and he goes down for free. That's a huge, huge error right now for Liquid. And Fugly, he's looking to make the difference. He'll find the bomber. There's one more player, and Fugly's gonna nail him. But still, there's more Virtus.pro players. They'll get the trade, but they have to go back to toilets for the bomb, giving key time for Liquid to go for the rotation to try to stop this.
Problem is they've got a FAMAS and an That might be as useful as a plastic hammer versus these AKs. 10 seconds though for Virtus.pro to get the bomb down. Bit of a nade coming in. Bayali and Pasha are heavily tagged actually, so that could come in handy and make some money at the same time. That perfect flash though coming in for Elige, who's got to be super, super careful. Pasha just waiting, but he's going to get wrecked by Hiko. And now the push begins from the CTs. Elige has gone down. It's Hiko versus 2. Looking for the clutch now. He's taken down Bayali as well. And he takes down the last one, Neo. Liquid will be kept to winning ways here. Virtus.pro there with the plant will have an extra $4,000 than they otherwise might. Trying times for Liquid, but they just about survive.
That's why Hiko's on the team. What a clutch. That is what this guy is all about. And here it is. We'll start to see some of the frags coming for Liquid. Fugly did such an immense amount of work here. He gets 2 one-on-ones, sure, but to actually just clutch those down is very crucial. Hiko in with a very hard situation, able to pull it through though. Always just the radiant confidence of Hiko is legendary. And now we're going to have the execute out of the nades. The execute out of Virtus.pro with the Tech-9s in armor. So this could be a little bit scary, but they first have to get positioning towards Suez and Monster if they intend to go for B. Liquid have shown presence forward on toilets, so I would feel like Virtus.pro are going to feel encouraged to go towards the B setup instead.
Liquid conceding connector once again in this kind of situation might be a bit precarious to try and put someone in there versus expected Tech-9s, P50s and such. You can see Elige trying to spot short B from a relatively safe position rather than putting a CC there again. I just want to play the numbers game together with these rifles. Don't want to allow Virtus.pro to pick up any of these dangerous weapons, but Virtus.pro have closed the distance now, and those Tech-9s are going to get ever dangerous as they get into one-tap distance.
And in comes the push now, so it's all about just holding it down with these setups, and the chaos is going to rain on in from these pistols, but it looks like we'll have multiple trades. Liquid still have some presence on the bomb site, but Virtus.pro are doing so much damage. Great kill coming in to try to finish off the remainder of Liquid who were in the bomb site. Indeed, that bomb will go down now. 3 versus 2 in favor of the T side as Adren looks for the first shots, the first angles. Fugly, he really needs to go in first, but he's so low. And Adren doesn't want to commit unless Fugly gets something done. This is very awkward. The flicks will come in though. Fugly finds the kill into Taz, but is it just a case of doing damage at this point? Can they still go for this? That bomb is starting to get really fastly ticking right now as we get the spray coming in through the smoke. Neo gets the frag, playing around that smoke, in with the spray, and Neo's going to find both kills to finish it off. And Virtus.pro again. Can these guys be stopped? And let's not forget, Hiko just clutched massively for his team, but he was the last man standing. So now after a round like that, their economy is going to start to look really frayed.
What a horrible situation for Adren. As soon as Fugly goes down here, all Adren can do is lose his AWP. And that's going to be a massive loss for the team. Virtus.pro now with double the score of Liquid as Liquid find themselves on Eco. Adren's managed to buy himself another AWP, however. And he can see his money is considerably lower than the rest of his team. Is the risk going to pay off? You can see he's in an aggressive position, but his opportunities are running low faster and faster as 4 men in Roach on his position. Taz to take him down. So there goes all the utility of Liquid in this round.
That is very unfortunate. Adren actually had, he just repositioned at the wrong timing. That's so unfortunate for him. And we'll see that the cleanup is coming in now. Least is actually going to find a frag and pick up the AWP, but Virtus.pro are all over this right now. They've got the bomb side as well, so unless Nitro can do something sneaky, and in fact he will find a very nice kill onto Pasha and an AK as well. But Virtus.pro can still just move together now safely. They know which bomb site that frag happened on. They know where Nitro is most likely going to be coming from and when. So they should be completely fine to just close this out with the 3 players they have left. And there it is, just execution style from Bayali. great precision. Viali has been a standout performer in this tournament so far for the Polish side.
So, Virtus.pro make it to 13. Again, if you are just joining us, this is the first game in this best of 3. Virtus.pro having a solid CT side here. Liquid trying to get back into the game, but the opportunity is getting smaller and smaller. Virtus.pro 2 rounds away now from taking the first map. Liquid back on the buy. You can see the limitations in their guns, in their utility here. Smoking off the connected area, and the drone will try and focus on the balloons as well. So doing a 2-men's job at the moment. Good start though from Liquid towards the long area, but they've been double traded now, so advantage back to Virtus.pro.
And the problem is that Adren was playing in connector, and that happened so quickly that he's going to lose positioning towards the A side, so he can't fall back there. Everyone's going to have to rotate through bank and through the stairs. This is not a good look here for Liquid, despite being in a 3-on-3, and Neo's already taken a very powerful position to defend these key 2 choke points, which are both on the same level. So Liquid are not looking in good shape at the moment as they throw the nades in. Bomb goes down as the retake is about to commence. First opportunity is going to falter here for Liquid. We get Neo just tapping down the next one. Hiko is out of the picture, leaving just Adren with the 5-7, and Virtus.pro are about to be very quickly on match point.
Indeed, what is the play from Adren here? Does he run and try and save his armor in 5-7? Maybe try and come back and hope a pistol and a gun has been blown onto the back stairs. He's managed to pick something up anyway, but he's surely going to die at this point. I don't know if he can get far away enough, or maybe he will, but then he's going to have T's coming for him as well. Just holding the angle, see if he can survive. Oh, very sneaky play indeed. Yeah, not getting there close enough. So, match point now. Many match points coming the way of Virtus.pro, so excuse me, game points. Again, this is the first map of a best of 3. So, Virtus.pro looking pretty strong here on overpass. See if they can take it over the line, and what kind of buy Liquid can offer on what could be the last round.
Yeah, it's not looking very good, is it? It's a bunch of 5-7s, Deagles, 1 M4, 1 solitary rifle against the arsenal of Virtus.pro. It's not a good premonition for the outcome of this round as Virtus.pro look to gain some basic map control, but it looks like they want to finish this with what could very well just be a simple straight-up B push, and they've already get the opening pick onto Fugly, so they've made their lives immediately a bit more, well, a bit easier. However, there are 3 players towards B for Liquid initially.
You can see Virtus.pro just waiting for Liquid to react to that one frag, actually, around the connected area, around the party area, but there's no aggression from Liquid here. They're gambling on it being B. You can see there's 3 players now on site, and Adren, the solitary M4, moving back towards A.
What I really like here from Virtus.pro is that they're just sticking together. They know that they have such an advantage when it comes to the weapons that they don't even want to make it complicated with any smokes or flashes. Just move together, find the angles, find the trades with that one-man advantage, and you're just good. So Virtus.pro keeping it simple. Again, just some good, solid counter-strike. They will smoke off the front of the site, though, to get themselves, the bank area of the site, though, to get themselves an easier plant situation. But Adren's the only man here with anything to deal with this push. There will be some flashes which will mess with Virtus.pro, but look at this. Adren can't see a single thing. He's the only guy with a gun. He can't do anything. Stax takes him down for free through the smoke, and Liquid have an awful time to try to retake this one.
Indeed, Elige is the only man with a kit now with so much to do as well, and he's going to get wiped out along with the rest of his team. So a solid game 1 from Virtus.pro, probably an expected result, you might say, on overpass. And again, the following match are maps that both teams can play, but you have to favour Virtus.pro going through. You can feel the pressure now on Liquid. They know after not winning overpass, they're definitely up against it there.
Yeah, and the thing that really strikes me here is there's many ways you can win and many ways you can lose a match. But generally speaking, Virtus.pro, they just showed such a high level of class, such great Counter-Strike. When they needed to make a creative play, they didn't go over the top with it. They did something that was smart, they did something that they could then say, okay, we'll get this advantage, then we'll fall back to this phase of this strategy. Everything was planned out. Fantastic stuff from Virtus.pro. Liquid have a lot to answer for. I can't wait, but first, guys, before we go into the next map, we have a short break.